Hello again, everybody! Zack Attack is here with my TNA Impact Wrestling review for tonight, Thursday, July 4th, 2013. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I mostly laid back, took care of some family business, and also going to 4th of July party, a little laid back 4th of July party before I DJ my next gig for Saturday. But before I get to my thoughts on tonight's TNA Impact, since I didn't make an attack line for a few days, I'm going to comment about some TNA releases. They released about 5 people on Wednesday. I need to comment. I want to give you, I know everyone's going to make their own video about this, but I want to give you my thoughts on people that got fired. I got 2 gut check people got fired. Alex Shaw and Taylor Hendricks, who aren't that big of a releases. Taylor Hendricks had okay potential, but I don't think they, there's been many rumors about why people got fired. Alex Shaw, I think he may got fired because I don't think he was supposed to win gut check. He was supposed to say no by Ric Flair, but Ric Flair said yes, and Alex Shaw's from Canada. So it kind of made sense that he got the boot. Also getting fired, I forgot who else got the boot. Well, besides 2 obvious people. I know he got fired. Ashanka, to me, another gut check I got fired. Christian York got released. I thought he was going to be destined for, I thought TNA were getting him a push. He's destined for a big push. But I think some other big Brit guy is going to get a big push, which I'll comment on in this video. The only one I'm not too shocked about, Joey Ryan. Good fucking riddance to you, bastard. All you know is to get rid of Wabi. That's all we need to do now. Get rid of the douchebags in TNA. Joey Ryan's not the biggest fan of his wrestling style. He's the douchebag character. Like the person, I may not know him as a person, but as a character in wrestling, he needed to go away. Robbie E needs to go next. But what's the biggest shock of the releases? Madison Rayne getting released. In my mind, she was probably one of the best heels in the knockout division. Mickey James is getting up there. Gail Gibbs a great heel too, but Madison, a multi-time knockouts champion, tag team champion as well in the knockouts division. I know she's having a baby, but I'm surprised they released her before she had a baby. But as in TNA's past, they fire people, they maybe hire them. So you never know if these guys may come back eventually. But I think of all the fire people, the chances of whoever, the one who I think has the best chance of getting rehired, Madison Rayne. In my mind, Madison Rayne needs to come back and be rehired, in my opinion, because she was a cornerstone to the Knockouts division. She's a great Knockouts wrestler, great hero. So, surprised to see her go. Comments on the release is gone. Comments about tonight's show, my thoughts on tonight's show, TNA Impact for the 4th of July. We will find out finally who would be indeed the true, undisputed X Division champion to be taking on and have a shot to take on Bully Ray at Decision X on Impact in 2 weeks in Kentucky. Plus, another member of the Main Event Mafia revealed, and I think I like the choice. I'll comment about that. Plus, with the Bound for Glory series continuing on tonight. And on with the news about the X Division Championship, about what they're going to do with it after the controversial match last week. Of course, we kicked off last week's Impact with a triple threat match for the X Division Championship. It was Chris Sabin defending against Eddie King and what we thought was Suicide. Suicide, the man who was wearing the suit, stole the win by beating King by holding onto the rope. And basically, the guy underneath the suit wasn't the real Suicide. TJ Perkins, the guy who played Suicide at the time, not Daniels or Kaz or anybody else that played him in the past. He got attacked by a guy and stole the suit and won the championship. And I kind of guessed it. I kind of sneaky suspicion about it, and it was Austin Aries, who basically stole the Suicide suit, stole the gimmick, as Hogan would say, and stole the victory in becoming the X Division champion. And the man who invented Choice C, the man who basically made it impossible for any X Division champion to cash in the championship for the world title shot like Austin Aries did and won it last year. As Austin Aries would say to kick off Impact tonight, and he was destined that he was going to be the X Division champion in 2 weeks and take on Bully Ray for the championship in 2 weeks. That wasn't until Hulk Hogan put a wrench into his plans. Austin wanted to seal the deal then and there, and to make it agreeable, make it official, that Austin Aries will cash in the X Division Championship for the chance to fight for the world title. But Hogan's like, no, Aries. You ain't gonna win. You're not gonna get off that easily. You cheated your way to the championship. You stole the man's gimmick. You stole the man's suit, brother. And you have to defend the title tonight in another triple threat against the man you attacked, TJ Perkins, who's still suicide, but the new name is Manic. And the man that didn't even get pinned last week to lose the championship, the former champion, Chris Sabin. So there's your main event triple threat match for the X Division Championship. As a main event Mafia was going to try to get involved. And so does the Ace and Eight. Of course, knowing that the winner would possibly face Bully Ray. And Ace and Eight wanted to make sure there was no winner. Main event Mafia wanted to make sure there was a winner. So there's going to be an impending war between Ace and Eight and Main event Mafia tonight. We'll see how the main event goes. Until then, on with the first match, which was the first of 3 Bound for Glory series matches. Starting with Kaz, who went in tonight's match with 0 points. He took on a man only in 2, following his draw against Samoa Joe 2 weeks ago in a great matchup, AJ Styles. Kaz, who came in with Daniels, dressed up like Siegfried and Roy, was Throwback Thursday, and they're in Vegas. That was kind of funny. But despite the funny suit and the wigs, Kaz got off his game quickly as AJ Styles dominated the early going of this matchup, with, of course, his big high-flying moves and his speed. But Kaz, of course, with the speed too, and knowing AJ Styles, of course, these two were former friends, former partners until the bullshit of last year that made AJ go the way he is right now. The whole Rebel Without a Cause, the whole outlaw thing that he's been, the whole I'm not associated with anybody thing that's been happening with AJ lately. The whole new look and, you know, the 5 o'clock shadow, the jacket, and all that stuff. So indeed, Kaz tried to fight back with a little distraction from Daniels, but the AJ came back with some nasty music on a clothesline and a back elbow. But as Kaz came flying back as well, trying to get the victory with a drop kick and a jawbreaker. He was trying to get the roll up, steal a matchup from AJ, but AJ countered the attempt at a pin with the calf killer, and Kaz was tapping. So AJ Styles got on the leaderboard tonight with 12 points overall, 2 points from the match with Joe, plus 10. I will give you the official leaderboard following the match. At the end of the night, end of this video, I will give you the scores. I always seem to forget to update the scores at the end of the video, but I will make sure of it this time that I do say the leaderboard that got updated tonight. So AJ Styles gets 10 points. Now on with the next couple of segments. We had 2 segments back to back, somewhat. First up, Mickie James bringing a ladder. Now, next week, I thought it was tonight, but it's next week. We're going to see Gail Kim take on Aaron Terrell in a ladder match, where the winner will be named #1 contender for the Knockouts Championship. Gail wants a shot, and she's been wanting a shot, and Aaron Terrell wants a shot. And since Velvet is down the ladder again, following her loss against Mickie last week, despite the knee injury bugging her yet again, Mickie was, of course, reveling in it with her own egotistical self, with, of course, the new heel turn, like I said, mostly complete. Mickie, of course, sending a message to both Gail and Taryn, saying, I don't care who wins the match next week, I will destroy your little faces, and I'll send you down the ladder, down to the bottom of the barrel. Should she say that nobody in the division, let alone you two, are good, or as good, should I say, as Hardcore Country herself, the reigning and defending TNA Knockouts Champion, Mickie James. So we will see who will be your next #1 contender next week in the ladder match between Gail and Taryn. Till then, we had another segment, the gut check results. Last week we saw Ryan Howe, should I say. Is he related to Goldie Howe? I don't think he is. Anyway, the guitar guy took on last week in the match the Big O, aka Adam O'Reilly. And I thought the Big O was going to get the the vote to be judged upon tonight. Especially since Big O, in my mind, showed more confidence and showed more action than Wyatt Howe, who got a crowd reaction, booing. It doesn't matter what kind of reaction you get, it's a reaction. So Wyatt Howe, despite losing, and not, in my mind, didn't show anything to me to prove to me he deserves a contract. He was the one that got in the voting. So I have many things about why I think Big O did not get the vote tonight to be judged upon. Now, I kind of said this in my review last week about Big O being on, is that Big O not only had this gut check thing, he also had an audition for WWE. So who knows? Maybe after this gut check was taped, Big O did have his WWE audition, and WWE wants to sign him. Maybe that's why TNA doesn't want to sign him, because he wants to sign with WWE. There's no reports of that at this point about, is that the real reason? Is Big O not in TNA because he wants to go to WWE? But till then, Big O didn't get in. Like I said, I'm guessing maybe because WWE wants to offer him something too. So we would have later on the vote for Wyatt Howe. Deservingly, no contract. It was 2 no's and a yes. And the crowd was booing him big time. You get a reaction, that's the thing. In TNA, you get a reaction. It doesn't matter what reaction is. But in my mind, I'm glad he didn't get the contract because he didn't deserve it in my mind. He wasn't like Joey Ryan. Because Joey Ryan, who got released, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, didn't deserve a contract, yet he kept egging on the gut check guys to redeem himself and get a contract, which he fairly fucking did with help from Matt Morgan. But still, I'm glad Wyatt Howe took the loss easily. He didn't say, fuck you, I want another shot, like Joey Ryan. So there you go. Wyatt Howe not getting the contract deservingly so. Maybe he'll come back later, but in my now, he didn't deserve the contract. He didn't prove to me or anybody else in my mind that he deserved, because he didn't show a lot of heart, and he was more suited for America's Got Talent, not wrestling, buddy. In my opinion, they made a lot of jokes about that. He was playing guitar, and that's the only reaction he got. And then he stopped playing guitar and started to wrestle. I was like, what the fuck is this doofus doing here? So there you go. Wyatt Howe didn't get the contract deservingly, so we'll see if Big O does come to TNA some other way, or eventually goes to WWE, which may be likely. Now, with our next match, which is another BFG series match, involved 2 men coming in this match with Zip. Speaking of a gut check guy, Jay Bentley, gut check guy, taking on Hernandez. Like I said, both men coming in with 0 points. Now, Jay Bentley, the rookie, should I say, the Bound for Glory series rookie, the gut check guy, he actually showed some okay potential, but that killer move he did off the top kind of landed nastily on Hernandez's neck. I'm surprised that it wasn't as serious as it was. I'm surprised Hernandez even wrestled the rest of the match. Who knows? I thought he seriously hurt his neck there with that big move that Jay Bradley did up the top with a big knee. I really thought that that kind of knocked him out, but Hernandez shook it off. He didn't show any effects of that neck move. And of course, the suplex joined the fly. And indeed, Superflex was flying high after that big flying move and dominated the later half of the matchup, following an early fury from Mr. Bradley. But of course, Bradley tried to fight back with, of course, the strength and the power of Hernandez with some big backbreaker moves, some nasty straight moves, dominated the match. But as Bradley, of course, had on his shirt, on his trunks, winning ugly. Well, he tried to win ugly with some cheap shot moves, poking the eye, and trying to find any easy, cheap way to get the victory and finally get some points in this Bound for Glory series. But as Bradley was taking the short way out and going for his big move, Chavo Guerrero, the tag team partner of Hernandez, who was at ringside, distracted Bradley for a quick second, followed by a shoulder tackle.
Hey, Ron, how do you get your lawn to stay?
Followed by a shoulder tackle by Hernandez. And we have that distraction from Chavo in the shoulder tackle. 1, 2, 3 victory for Hernandez. So Hernandez is finally on the leaderboard with 7 points following that pin. Well, Jay Bradley still has 0 points. So there you go. Hernandez with the victory. Now, our next tag team matchup, stemming from a segment last week, It was the tag team champions of James Storm and Gunner, the tag team champions, in a non-title match, taking on Bromance, what do you want to call him, Jesse Goddess, and the ultra douchebag, who I think she can fire as well. Like I said, we got rid of one douche with Joy Wyatt. All we now is to get rid of Wabi E. So we saw last week these two teams getting it on in a brawl as, of course, Gunner and James Storm got interrupted by these two douches, Jesse and Wabi, and revealing their team name, and of course, Bromance, confusing, and making fun of big time by Storm and Gunner. And indeed, Gunner and Storm thought it was going to be an easy pickings against the young team of Bromance, what do you want to call them? But as indeed, Gunner and Storm thought it had it easy. No way. They had to fight to get the victory. Wabi E and Jesse show some okay potential by going right at the Gunner at the bell before double teaming. Dominated early after the matchup, especially when Taylor got involved a little bit, choking Gunner on the ropes as the referee wasn't looking. So Wabi and Jesse, despite I think Jesse's an okay wrestler. Let me say this. Jesse's a better wrestler than Wabi E. They should keep Jesse. Fuck Wabi E. Anyway, so Jesse and Wabi was going for quick tags and isolating Gunner in the corner. As indeed, it looked like they had an okay chance of winning. That wasn't until Gunner got back up and got the hot tag to James Storm. Coming in, beer, drunk and all. Coming in a fist of rage, punching anything and everything that Bygone moved. As indeed, Storm was dominated, of course, his backcracker move. Before indeed, tagging back in Gunner and double teaming on Jesse and Wabi. But as indeed, Gunner was going for a big move, Jesse tried to roll up Gunner. And Wabi E tried to help out and break the count. But Storm nailed Mr. Wabi with the super kick. Then, of course, Gunner, I thought he was going to go for the whack, but he nailed Jesse with a backbreaker, nasty little move. That was until the somersault neckbreaker from Storm got him and got the pin and the win for the TNA Tag Team Champions. Gunner and Storm. I think Gunner and Storm showing potential as Tag Team Champions. I think they finally found the niche. I think they finally found the groove a bit. I think they're okay, guys. I think Gunner's a decent face. I think fans are starting to like him a little bit more. Because Gunner was a heel for a long time, part of Fortune and everything, and part of Immortal. And now Gunner's a face, so I think it took a little while, but I think fans are finally now getting used to Gunner as a face. And especially as a tag team champion with a guy like Storm, who should be higher up in the TNA roster, instead of being wasted with this being mid-card. I think James Storm is a former champion, former world champion. I think James Storm should have gone a lot higher in TNA. Speaking of men who could be getting a big push in TNA, with our next segment was involved a new member of the Main Event Mafia, the fourth member being revealed tonight. Now, I said in my review last week that they had Angle and Sting and Joe. Those three were veterans of the Main Event Mafia. Sting and Angle, two of the original four members that are still in the company. And Joe, who came in later on as a member, but surprised they didn't say, they not only didn't mention that Joe was a member before, but I also forgot to mention that it was 5 years ago in Vegas that the original Main Event Mafia was founded. In the fall of 2008, there was that live Impact in fall of 2008 at the Hard Rock Cafe in Vegas where the original Main Event Mafia was named Sting, Angle, Booker T, and Kevin Nash. And when the original Main Event Mafia was founded, the only thing that you had to be joining in is you had to be a former world champion. So the first three were former world champions. So I was like, we're going to get a fourth former world champion. But I said also in my review last week that you had all these veteran Main Event Mafia guys who were in the original, or at least came in later on. I said in my review last week, can we get a new member in Main Event Mafia? And I do emphasize on new. That means new to the Mafia. That's never joined the Mafia before. Never was a Mafia member in the original Main Event Mafia. Well, they got a new member that hasn't been in the Mafia before. And I think they kind of broke their mantra. I think now it's like anyone can join Main Event Mafia, not just former champions or former world champions. So they picked this the fourth member, a man who I think is getting a big push. I said also in my review last week, Magnus joining the main event Mafia. Well, Joe is his former partner, so that kind of makes sense storyline-wise. But I said in my review last week that Magnus is currently the #1 leaderboard on the main event on the Bound for Glory series. And I said last week that I think this is Magnus' biggest push as a solo guy ever since he came back from the most recent attack from Ace and Eights back in March in UK. I think he's been really gunning for a big push. Now he's #1 leaderboard, and add on to the fact that he's now a member of the new main event Mafia, I think Magnus is finally going to get a big, giant push. And he kind of deserves it. You know, he's been a hard-working member in TNA, you know, former multi-time tag champion. So I'm glad that Magnus is getting a big push, and I think he's finally grown. I said it last week, I'll say it again. I think he's finally grown as a wrestler, he's finally grown as a performer, and as his character's grown, I think he's finally, like Gunner in some ways, like Gunner and Magnus were both heels for the longest time. I think the fans are finally attaching on to Magnus. I think Magnus finally has a crowd following now. The crowd's now into him, cheering for him, you know, cheering him on, you know, liking him, attaching themselves to him, you know, wanting him to do better, you know, jumping on his bandwagon, whatever you want to say about him. And the fans finally jumping onto him and wanting him to go forward. So, whatever you want to say, I think Magnus is, like I said, that he will, he's destined for a big push, I think. Being a leaderboard of the BFG series, and now add on to the fact that he's now a new member of Main Event Mafia, I think it's going to give his push more leverage now that he's part of the Main Event Mafia. So there you go, Magnus, the newest member of the Main Event Mafia. That's been a Bound for Glory series, with our final Bound for Glory series match of the evening, which would involve Jeff Hardy, who came into this Bound for Glory series with 7 points, tying with about a lot of men for the 7 points, along with Joseph Park, who, like many others, ran in the match with zip points. Now, Hardy and Joseph Park are faces, you know, good guys, so it was tough for the fans. There was some splitting, you know, like some fans did say, like, let's go Park and let's go Hardy. So, Hardy and Park being faces, they shook hands in the beginning. And indeed, Hardy, like the match between Gunner and Storm and Robbie E. and Gunner, or Robbie and Jesse, I think Hardy thought, hey, Joseph Park's going to be an easy win somewhat, despite the fact he's related to Abyss. Well, Joseph Park did get nailed in the beginning of the matchup. And Hardy looked like he was going to get the quick victory. They did get collar elbow tie up to kick it off before some, you know, chin lock moves until indeed Hardy finally got leverage to his side, dominating with his big moves, his spinning head scissors, nailing with the twist of fate, and Hardy was ready to nail the swanton, but Hardy missed it. After he missed the swanton, control shifted to Joseph Park, who really looked dominant. Like Joseph Park / Abyss, you know, same person, what you want to say. I've always said this about Joseph Park, the guy who's playing him. I think he's a terrific actor when it comes to acting. He's a shitty wrestler. And Park really dominated over Hardy after that miss. Really, Joseph Park looked very good in the matchup. Overpowering Hardy, you know, really beating him up. You know, but unfortunately, despite the fact he was weakening Hardy, he didn't take advantage of it. Didn't take full advantage. Like every time Park did a big move that he had Hardy set to lose, Park wouldn't pin him. Park wouldn't weaken him more. He didn't take the opportunity to pin him when he had the chance. And unfortunately, the missed opportunities finally caught up to Joseph. Despite a decent showing from Joseph dominating the later half of the matchup after that swanton miss, Hardy got back to life, dominating the later half of the matchup. With, of course, the big moves, including, of course, the Whisper in the Wind. Further than Whisper in the Wind, Joseph Park saw and smelled blood in his face. And you know what happens when Joseph Park sees blood? He goes out of control. He loses his mind a bit. It looked like Park was going to lose it on Hardy. They was going to dominate big move on Hardy and hook up on Hardy. He even did the Abyss thing. That wasn't until Joseph Park nailed the Black Hole Slam on the referee, not Hardy. But then after that Black Hole Slam, like when Joseph Park sees blood, he gets into a trance, should I say, and delivers a Black Hole Slam, but he snaps out of it. And when he snapped out of this trance after seeing the blood in his mouth, Joseph Park kind of didn't know what happened because it was in some sort of trance when he nailed a black hole slam in the ref. And because of that black hole slam in the ref, Joseph Paul got disqualified. Even Hardy was stunned by that. So Hardy got a couple points following the disqualification. So Joseph Paul got -10 now. Furthermore, Hardy gets about 2 or 3 points. So at the end of the night, at the end of this Impact, before we get to the main event, here is the finals. Here's the current leaderboard of the Bound for Glory series. Still in first place with 24 points is Magnus. Second place with 19 points, Samoa Joe. Now in third place following his submission victory over Cass tonight, AJ Styles. In fourth place, with around 9 or 10 points, Jeff Hardy. Tied for fifth place, with 7 points each, Daniels, Mr. Anderson, Austin Aries, and Hernandez. And tied for last place with Zip as Bobby Roode, Jay Bradley, and, well, actually tied for second to last, like 9th place is those three. And last place with -10 after that disqualification, Joseph Park. So that is the Bound for Glory series leaderboard as of the end of this episode. Next week, we're going to have a Joe Goes Wild Tag Team Tournament and a gauntlet. And the winner of that gauntlet and tag team tournament as part of the BFG series will get a whopping 25 points. Could go very far in determining who would indeed get the leverage in the midway point of the BFG series. So we have that next week plus the Taryn Gale match. But before we get to next week, we got to end this week first. So we have the main event, triple threat match for the X Division Championship to decide the true undisputed champion and the true worthy contender of who would have the chance to cash in the X Division Championship for a shot against the world champ, Bully Ray. It was, of course, the champ, Austin Aries, taking on Manic, the new name for Suicide, and Chris Sabin. Of course, Maven Mafia and Ace and Ace were both at ringside because Ace and Ace came out first because they wanted to make sure nobody won. Because they wanted to interfere in the match and take out everybody, so nobody would get a shot against Bully Ray. And that's what it looked like from the beginning. As Ace and Ace did get a little involved in the matchup. Before I tell you more about their involvement and how they sparked the Main Event Mafia to come out to even up the odds, should I say. Indeed, it was a very good X Division match. Typical, somewhat spot fast, very high-flying moves, and Sabin and Aries got a good amount of time, they really dominated over each other, but Meta came flying back with some big moves, but, as, midway towards the matchup, the game change of the matchup, which sparked, of course, the involvement of Main Event Mafia, with the interference of Ace and Ace. Both, Sabin and Aries took each other out by flying off the top, narrating some big moves off the top rope, landing on the ramp. But as Manic was about to do his own little fly move off the middle rope and onto Sabin and Aries on the outside, as he was ready to fly, Duck at ringside tripped Manic. The Manic decided, I'm not going to fly on Aries and Sabin, I'm going to fly on you. So as Manic was flying up the top rope, he got caught in midair by Duck, which led towards a power bomb on the concrete by Duck, taking Manic out of the match, sparking the Main Event Mafia to come out after the interference to try to scare off the Main Event Mafia, scaring off Ace and Ace from interfering more. So with Manic out of the match after being taken out by Duck, we were going to crown a new champion as Sabin and Aries were left. Basically, a triple threat match apparently became a triple threat elimination match following the interference of Ace and Ace. So with Manic out, it was up to Aries and Sabin to duke it out to see who will indeed be facing or get the chance to face Bully Ray for the championship in 2 weeks. And this later half of the matchup was very exciting, very high-paced action. These two are probably in everyone's mind, two of the best X Division wrestlers of all time. You can put AJ Styles up there is one of the best, and Samoa Joe is one of the best as well. But these two, Aries and Sabin, are probably up there as probably 2 of the top 10 best X Division wrestlers, let alone greatest X Division champions of all time. And it was very back and forth action, near fall to near fall. You know, both guys were going for their big moves. Aries and Sabin at one point did nail their big finishers with the Hail Sabin and the Brain Buster. Even near the Brain Buster on the I think one point Aries did try for the Brain Buster outside, and the fans were loving it. You know, this was awesome chance. It was a pretty good, awesome match. Just later after the matchup, when it came down to Aries and Sabin one-on-one, with Manic being taken out. So they both guys were, you know, giving it the all with move after move, and both guys just couldn't seem to keep the other down for a 3 count. But indeed, as Aries is going for a big move, going for a big attack move on top, Sabin came up and delivered that Hail Sabin, his big finishing move, for the second time, this time off the top rope. Killer spot, killer Hail Sabin off the top. 1, 2, 3. Chris Sabin regains the X Division Championship following getting screwed out of it last week. So Sabin, once again, is the X Division Champion, and he vowed on the mic that he will be indeed cashing in the X Division Championship for the shot against Bully Ray in 2 weeks. Now, my thoughts on Chris Sabin's chances of becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. I love Sabin. I've always been a big fan of his. Not just because of the fact he's from Michigan. You know, because I'm from Michigan, you know, Motor City Machine Guns. Bring back Shelly. Maybe they may bring back Shelly. Because with Destination X in 2 weeks, they said on a commercial going to bring back X Division wrestlers past and present. So who knows? Maybe we may see a return of Shelly. Or better, maybe Amazing Red. Maybe other X Division guys. Maybe we'll see Sunday Dutt back for a little bit. He came back for a bit. Maybe we'll see Petey Williams again. So it'll be a lot of people I hope to see come back for Destination X in 2 weeks. So, back to my thoughts on Sabin's chances. I love Sabin. He's a tremendous wrestler. I think Sabin does deserve to be World Heavyweight Champion at one point in his career. I think Sabin does deserve to be World Champion. Hey, if Austin Aries can cash in the X Division Championship for the opportunity to become World Champion and win it, I think Sabin has a good chance. Unfortunately, when it comes to storyline-wise, Sabin is basically a man against a bunch of guys, because not only does Sabin have to go in the ring with Bully Ray, he also have to probably face in the ring the rest of Ace and Eights, who will probably be on ringside. But I bet you, in some way, shape, or form, I predict something will happen in the match between Bully Ray and Chris Sabin. Some sort of interference. Whether it comes from the Ace and Eights, or in another case, the Main Event Mafia. So who knows? I bet you the power struggle between Ace and Eights and Main Event Mafia, who haven't had a real physical brawl yet, I think they will get into a brawl at the next event and lead towards, and probably be a factor in the result of the outcome of the match between Bully Ray and Chris Sabin at Destination X in 2 weeks. So we have that match set with Chris Sabin retaining the title. In 2 weeks he'll take on Bully Ray. But till then, next week we're going to have a Knockouts ladder match. Darren Terrell taking on Gail Kim. The winner becomes the #1 contender for Mickey James and the Knockouts title. But the BFG series continues next week with a gauntlet match, a gauntlet tournament, and a tag team tournament. Joker's Wild, the winner of that gauntlet in tag team tournament, will get 25 points. Huge factor. I may miss it next week because I'm busy, but there you go. That is it for my Impact review for tonight. See you all later, and I hope everyone enjoyed their 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, everybody. I know it's, by the time I get this out, it'll probably be July 5th. So, happy 4th of July anyway. Hope you had a good one. And with that in mind, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you all very much for watching. See you all later. Yeah.